Welcome to Conversations in the Closet. I am your host, Teresa Romer, and with me today is our very infamous Maz.
The famous Maz. Hi, Teresa. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Oh my gosh, it's been a crazy, crazy couple of weeks. I miss you.
I've missed you too, but we are back and we got some pretty good hot topics coming up. And so we're starting up our new channels again. So we're going to be sharing that with you guys online to tell you where to find our podcast other than on YouTube, which we've been promoting lately. So stay tuned on that. We got to tell the viewers about that as well.
Definitely, definitely. Well, you're going to love today's topic.
Oh, surprise. Surprise me.
You know, I always surprise you. Today, I really want to talk about the effects of sexual harassment. And you know, I'm only talking about this because it's in the news nonstop.
Isn't it a little bit questionable why all of a sudden now it's in the news? One after the other, one after the other. I mean, it's a little bit, I don't know, it's questionable for me.
Well, you're right. But I mean, I think it all started with Bill Cosby. What, a year or two ago, I think, I mean, that's when it really started, I think, was with Bill Cosby. And how many women came out with Bill Cosby?
A lot. I think it was over 5, 6, right?
Oh, I think it was in the like 20 something.
My God. But, but see, the thing with Bill Cosby was I thought Bill Cosby's situation was a little bit sick.
Oh, do explain.
The things that were coming out in that case was just, I mean, it sounded like a plot of a horror movie. The way that he would drug every single one of them, then he would sexually, abuse them and
right.
do this and do that. That was a plot of a sick horror movie. But the things I think that are happening lately is basically all these people coming out and telling the world the pressures that they've had in their field of work, whether they're male or female, being sexually harassed by a superior, more influential person.
Right. But, I think what happens sometimes is all it takes is for one person to come forward and then everybody else says, oh, okay, phew, good. Okay, she came forward. I can come forward now. Because it's just like.
Do you think that's what it is? Do you think that's what the push is right now?
Yeah, because the same thing happens when a woman gets raped. 9 times out of 10, the woman won't even report the rape because she's embarrassed. She doesn't know what everybody's going to think about her. Right. Once they find out, she feels dirty. I mean, like 9 times out of 10, a woman that gets raped will not come forward. So I think what's happened is some of these women, because somebody did finally come forward, now they're like, oh, well, gosh, I don't feel so bad now. She's talking, she's telling her story. I'm going to go ahead and tell my story now. Whereas before they thought maybe they just had to keep quiet because who was going to really believe them anyways?
True. I have to agree with you on that. But then again, everybody's coming out right now.
Well, let's talk about that. So we've got the
I'm going to go slap one on you tomorrow, Teresa. I think it's a fashion statement right now, just to walk around and say, I'm very firm about this. I think that a lot, as you were saying before, when we started the podcast, yes, in the business field and in the entertainment industry, we know that women have always been sexually harassed.
Right.
It's been going on for decades and centuries.
Right.
There's nothing new to that. But the question is it a trend right now?
Well, I don't know, because I mean, like, here lately, the Harvey Weinstein, that's a big topic right now, like huge topic.
That's what, let me tell you about the Harvey Weinstein. One thing I was questioning about, as I go in and out of these studios a lot with in our industry, we talk to the assistants, we talk to this, we talk to the celebrities. We go in and out a lot when we're on the TV sets. How, someone like Gwyneth Paltrow, she comes along and says, yes, I knew about this and it happened to me, but I also got an Oscar nomination. Well, let me remind the viewers a little bit. Okay. the movie that she got nominated for was a shit pile of production, plot, story. Anything that you could imagine was what was it? Shakespeare in Love.
Come on, tell us your true feelings.
I think it was full of shit. She didn't deserve an Oscar, and now she's coming out and saying, "Yeah, he did it, but I got the Oscar nomination." So as a third person, I question the ability. Gwyneth, just come out. We know your dad was the director of many influential movies in Hollywood, and your mother is an amazing, actress. You got the nomination because you had to provide Harvey Weinstein with services. And you got that Oscar because you did exactly what he wanted you to do. That's what I see it. I'm sorry,
Well,
but that's how I see it.
Right. So, I mean, like, that's one case, but I'm just saying.
You honestly think that Shakespeare in Love deserved an Oscar? Her role in Shakespeare in Love?
Well, no, I didn't care for the movie myself. But what I am saying is some of these stories that I hear about what Harvey did with some of these women is absolutely disgusting. I mean, like, seriously, and now all of a sudden coming out is all of these young men saying that Kevin Spacey's been hitting on them and raping them. I'm like, whoa.
Oh yeah, and the story with Kevin Spacey was for decades. Many in the industry knew that he was gay, but he wasn't openly gay.
Right.
So he hadn't come out and openly, come out of the closet to say, yeah, I'm gay, and this is how my life is. So no one actually, it wasn't never confirmed by him.
Right.
So now all of a sudden, all these harassment charges are coming against him, and I'm really depressed because one of the best damn TV series there is just got canceled on Netflix, which was House of Cards.
Right.
I hope he comes back. I hope that they can get a contract with something. I don't know if you watched House of Cards. That was amazing.
No.
So it was truly amazing. So I think it's pretty depressing that something like that would cause, more steps to move forward with such a cancellation.
But I think the way he came about saying his apology and then announcing to the public he was gay in his apology. Really?
Well, yeah, that was
seriously.
That's what
come on.
And every single one of them, all of a sudden, after all these allegations, all of them are going to rehab.
Oh yes. Oh, that's the in thing to do. Let's go to sex rehab.
No, I mean, I don't know if that's just a promotional stunt that they're doing to show that, we're no longer sexual predators.
No, I don't believe that for 1 second. I mean, like, why didn't they go to rehab long ago for it? And then today.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking about.
Today, I heard that Charlie Sheen is being investigated for coming on to young men.
Yeah, that's the one I told you about. I think he sexually harassed Corey Haim or something.
Yeah.
Well, Charlie Sheen, I mean, my God. That is a different. I mean, you need to take an ecstasy tablet just to talk about his life. That is a trip on its own.
Oh my goodness,
Charlie Sheen, my God,
But hasn't he had sex with everybody in the world?
He's had sex with everybody in this entire world. So that's what I'm telling you. Like, hearing about him, it's like I knew somehow, somewhere, believe it or not, his name would be smeared into something like this because this man has done so much dirty crap in his life. You would find his name in every little sexual act there is in Hollywood.
Right. But I mean, like, I personally have been hit on many, many times in the workplace.
Well, I can see why, Teresa.
That's no excuse. That's no excuse. But I'm just saying, I've been sexually harassed. I've been come on to. I've been told if I would do this and this and this, I'd get a promotion. And I literally never bought into it. I was just like, no, I'm going to earn my keep the right way. If I get a promotion, I'm getting it the right way.
Right.
But so I too have experienced it. So I know it's real. And I mean, like, what are we doing here? We're talking. Come on. I mean, like, all the senators, politicians, everybody. I mean, like, everyone's guilty of it. Look at Bill Clinton.
Look at Donald Trump.
All of them. Look at President Lincoln. I mean, like they all have had sexual relationships in the workplace. It,
Yeah,
it
they
goes
have.
it goes way back to President Washington, President Lincoln. I mean, like every single person. So it's sad. I mean, like you
But
know,
see, having a sexual relationship with someone else is different than sexually harassing someone.
true.
You know, having a sexual relationship, whether it's you know, in a monogamous relationship or not, it's a different story. But sexual harassment and using that power to, you know, destroy someone's soul, as I would see it, I think it's just it's a new level for itself
So
when it
so
comes to that.
so so why do you think they use their status to get what they want?
I don't think it's not why do they get use their status, Teresa? You know, back in Germany, they at the University of Heidelberg, they did an experiment. It was called the experiment, and they made a movie from it. They divided two groups of people. They made it one into prisoners and the other half into prisoner guards. And I'm sure anybody that listens to this podcast can. I think Netflix has it right now. You'll find it anywhere, even on Amazon Prime. It's called The Experiment. And these were two groups of regular people off the street. They brought them into this, gave them this ability. One of them in a group they put as the prisoners, and the others were the security guards. Now, looking at this, you would see that the security guards were given the power. And you would be amazed at how these people that were common people off the street would come into this experiment and were given the power to be these security guards over these prisoners, how they abused that power.
Really?
And I think that goes back to, I see that as a human disability that people somehow, somewhere in life have fallen and then they were given the false power to
Right.
represent themselves and they have abused it. That's how I see it.
So do you think sometimes it's a form of blackmail?
100%. 100%. Well, I mean, blackmail from what point of view do you?
Well,
From
let's go back to Gwyneth Paltrow. You know, it was kind of like maybe like if you don't do this,
oh yeah, do you remember Kate Beckinsale? She, we all know how gorgeous Kate Beckinsale is.
right?
My wife has done her makeup several times and spoken so highly of her. Gorgeous, gorgeous woman. You know, do you remember what she said when she made her statement? She said he also came on to me, but I didn't accept it, and therefore I could not expand as much as the others did in my career. Um, you know,
Right.
so yeah, absolutely. It's I see it as this way. I have the power. Come do it. If you don't, you know, I'll do this and I'll do that, and I won't give you the status that you're seeking.
So sometimes it's not how talented you are; it's who you have sexual relationships with.
Teresa, I honestly have been in this industry for since 2001. That's over 15 years.
Yeah.
Um, the thing that counts in this industry is connections. How you make those connections, God knows.
Sexual.
God knows.
Yeah. Sleep with me, and I'll get you on the TV show.
Yeah. Well, it's the oldest gamble in the world. It's a hit or miss, you know, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
So what do you think causes this? Like literally, I mean,
Abuse of power. Teresa, it's the same thing that happens with police officers that are given power. It's the abuse of power. It's the same thing. Any person that is not capable of keeping that level of status and is given false power will abuse it. Any person that is not mentally stable. What I'm saying is that there are mentally stable people in this industry, and every place that I can think of in this industry, they don't do these things. And then there's the other ones that lack that certain empathy and they abuse their power.
so let's go back to Harvey Weinstein for a minute. They said his wife left him.
Have you seen how gorgeous his wife is?
Yeah, and she comes from a very wealthy family.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here going, okay, wait a minute. Now suddenly she decides to leave him. So all of these years, has she really been oblivious to what's going on?
Well, remember, in psychology, they always say men like him always show to be the perfect fathers and the perfect husbands.
Really?
Yes.
So she was oblivious to it.
Yes. I think so.
So
I think
then,
so.
so then once it becomes public, now she's ashamed and now she wants a divorce.
Well, or maybe it's the way that you say it. Maybe she knew about it, but it was their private little secret. But now it's public, and she's divorcing him.
Right.
So either way. Um, I
So,
think
so,
I think he has an illness. I think
well, apparently, apparently he's got an illness. But so here's the $100 question here. So, what's to be done? Like, how do we stop it? How do we, how do we bring more attention to it? How do we? I mean, like,
Teresa,
maybe.
I honestly believe that if someone is getting sexually abused in any work environment, should definitely come out with it at that time. Why? Because when you do, you seek for someone that you trust, you find the advice that you need, and you move forward, whether legally or whatever other way that you have to do. I think it needs to happen much earlier than to wait all these years. Maybe that person will have a different wrath on someone else.
But you were just talking about why is it all happening now?
Well, now it's trending. It's the
it's
trend.
like right, but now, and hear me out on this. Maybe now because it's become so upfront with everyone, maybe now it will really start to resonate with women, and maybe a lot of women now will start coming forward and discussing it and whatnot. I mean, like instead of just staying in the shadows and hiding from it because they're ashamed.
Oh, absolutely. I hope
I
they
mean, like
do.
maybe this is going to give women more power now to really have a voice and not be ashamed because I
I
know.
hope they do. I hope they do. But Teresa, also remember, there are women that such, harassments happen to, and it's not because they asked for it. But then there are other women that actually promote such harassments in order to get to those places that they want to get.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a hit and miss in this situation. And it's a male and female situation. We have people screwing their way up in this industry, and they want to do it, some of them.
So do you think a man is ever going to come forward and say, I was sexually harassed by my boss, who was a woman?
Hey, Michael Douglas did in the movie with what was that, Demi Moore?
Yeah.
What was it called? Deception. There is, of course, there is. I get sexually harassed by you every day. No, Teresa, honest to God, men get sexually harassed, whether it's in a gay situation, whether it's in a heterosexual situation. There is sexual harassment in all work atmospheres.
I understand, but I think men, on the other hand, find it fun and empowering if a woman sexually harasses them.
I totally agree with you.
I think they think, "Ooh, I am the man." Hear me roar. Yay, she came on to me. I think it does something to a man's ego where a woman feels degraded.
A woman feels degraded, and if she has that uh, certain complex about it, but then there's other women that love using that to go up the pillar of success.
Right.
So you don't know. You don't know. If I told you the things that I see in this industry, um, sometimes you look at these higher, powerful CEOs that we sit next to, and you look at the women that are sitting next to them, and you say, well, if he didn't have this power, would she even be sitting next to him? You look at this gorgeous 22, 23-year-old girl, and you just question yourself. But then you question yourself again, what if she doesn't get her way? Will she go and use it against him? Will she uh, make up a story and say I was sexually harassed?
Oh yeah.
Was she really sexually harassed? I mean, it's I don't know. I definitely empower women to seek help if they do.
Right.
I think that the most important thing is to find someone that you trust, whether it's anyone that you have that level of trust with, and you seek advice and you get the help that you should. That person should be stopped immediately. If not,
But
as you can see, it goes on for decades and decades and decades.
right, but I do also say that there's different levels of women. Like I know some women that can be told a dirty joke in the workplace. They can be in the middle of a conversation about, well, what'd you do with your husband last night? And it doesn't bother them one bit.
Yeah.
And then you can find girls, like it's happened before in the health club industry that I was in. You know, one of my senior supervisors would go along and just flick a girl on the butt with a pin as she walked by, and she would scream sexual harassment.
Of course.
So, you know, some women are more, I don't know, I just, you know, frigid, I guess. And like, if you even look at them cross-eyed, they're suddenly going to report sexual harassment, where some women, they can be involved in telling dirty jokes and it doesn't bother them, you know? So I don't know,
Yeah,
but
that's exactly what I try to ask you is, what is the difference? How do you know the difference? How do you know if that person is in this situation, fairly speaking, the perspective of a victim or of someone that's just been butthurt in a situation, not getting that successful um, goal approached by them with the person that they were supposed to, engage in?
right,
Um, it's very difficult. And as I said, Teresa, it's not a female or male thing. Um, there's a lot of men trying to work their way up. There's a lot of um, in the LGBTQ community, um, women. It's everywhere right now, and it's a hit or miss. You don't know. You don't know if it's gonna affect them fully, or you don't know if it's just a show.
right, right.
We
Yeah,
have a we call an ostrich in our in my in Farsi, we call an ostrich a bird camel. That's the two words that we use in Farsi for it. So they asked the ostrich in Farsi, they said, carry the luggage. And he said, no, I'm a bird. And they said, well, go ahead and fly. He said, no, I'm a camel. So in this situation, you don't know what is what. It's weird. It's questionable. Huge question mark.
well, I guess the takeaway here is if you suspect sexual harassment, report it, because no one deserves it, you know. Um, but like you said, I mean, like, I just don't know if it's just a fad right now and everybody's just jumping on the bandwagon, or is a lot of this as serious as it seems? I don't know. You know, I guess it'll play out and we'll determine it, as we go forward. But definitely, if you definitely feel like you've been sexually harassed, I mean, like, don't wait years to report it like some of these women are doing.
Right.
Like, do it immediately. That's my advice.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. And if you are a victim of sexual harassment, there are, many sites that you can go to, including, government sites for sexual harassment.
right,
Um, Search it, seek that help that you need, talk to another higher corporate levels to help you out. Don't hide it. If you are really, truly a victim of sexual harassment, don't hide it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. As a matter of fact, you might save yourself and some future victims with it.
exactly, exactly. Couldn't have said it better. Couldn't have said it better. So, with that said, guys, this has been an interesting conversation tonight. I hope you found some good information out of what we've talked about. Make sure you find me out there on social media everywhere, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Pinterest. Of course, both YouTube channels, Teresa Romer and Conversations in the Closet.
Yes,
And with
and we're on YouTube, Conversations in the Closet, and we are going to be on Podbean and soon to be iTunes. So we're going to be launching those two. It's going to be under Conversations in the Closet. Support us. Come out. Listen to our podcast. Teresa and I give it a lot of energy.
It's always fun with you, Maz.
Well, Teresa is the professional. I'm just here to ramble away.
So with that said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the night here, and we will catch you next week with another fabulous topic.
Thank you, Teresa. Good night.
Bye.